Hi, this tutorial will walk you through ways to organize, compare, share, and publish building projects in EC3. When you open the Plan and Compare Buildings tab, you will see additional subtabs to help you see specific groups of projects. This list starts with My Buildings, which holds all buildings that you own. This will include buildings you have started from scratch or which you have imported from other tools like Tally, BIM 360, or Revit. We will spend more time in this folder later in this video. The Templates subtab currently only includes templates set up by our team and currently includes 2 projects with a list of elements with predefined materials and quantities of 1 in both SI and USA units. You can copy these projects as a quick starting point if you don't feel like starting from scratch. The Share It With Me tab includes all projects which you do not own, but projects that have been shared with you by others. This can include individual projects or entire folder structures. You will notice that the icon selection next to various projects may differ, and this indicates different levels of editing rights that you may have for each of these projects. We will go over sharing permission levels later in the video. The Public tab includes all public buildings, which includes example buildings created by our team, but can also include examples from other EC3 users. Lastly, the All Buildings tab lumps all of the projects together into a single folder, including owned, shared, and public buildings. Let's come back to the My Buildings tab. Here you can organize buildings into folders and superfolders, just like you would do with files on your computer. The only difference is that there is a predefined structure to this organization in EC3. And so projects can only live inside of folders, and folders can live inside of superfolders. But if I try to drop a project inside of a superfolder, it won't stick. You can use the folder and superfolder structure to organize projects across a firm, studio, campus, or simply to organize linked models if working with projects imported from BIM tools. One tip for faster loading of this tab is to collapse your folders and superfolders before leaving this tab. EC3 remembers which folders were collapsed and will load faster with a shorter list of projects to display. The table in front of us is organized by the last updated column by default, but you can reorganize it by name or address if you wish. If you have a long list of projects, you can also search for a project by its name using the text search box at the top. You can view some of the project results charts from this table by clicking on the eye icon and selecting which charts to view. This allows you to quickly get an idea of various projects' footprint without having to open the full project page. If you set up your folder structure for a single project or a campus, you can also view results charts for the entire group of individual projects. This can be helpful when importing multiple files from other design tools and you end up with separate EC3 projects representing the structure, envelope, and interior models, for example. If you set up your folder structure to represent alternative design scenarios for subsystems or entire buildings, like I have here, you can select the individual building designs and then click on the Compare Buildings button to see the results lined up side by side. You can see the % reduction due to the alternative designs, but you can also still see the potential difference between the conservative and achievable carbon estimates for each design. Lastly, you can toggle to see the breakdown by material categories to help you focus on identifying the most responsible suppliers in the material categories that matter most. You can share projects and folders with individuals or groups by clicking on the Share button next to the folder or project. Here you can simply type in the other user's name and click on the Add button. Similarly, you can type in a group name and share the same way. You can then change the permissions for each user or group that the project is shared with. I will come back to this later. If you try to share it with someone who does not have an EC3 account yet, you won't see their name come up, but you can enter their email address and they will receive an email invitation to register for a free EC3 account. When you first create or import a project, the project will be private, like you can see here, for example. This means it is only visible to you and no one else. When you share a project with others, the label changes to shared, like you can see here. Any projects that a user is not an owner of, but are shared with that user, will show in the Shared With Me section. There's also a third label denoting projects that are public, and therefore visible to all EC3 users, and we'll cover how to make projects public later in this video. You can also access the same sharing settings from within the project page. At the top, you will see the same share icon, and the status of the project as private, shared, or public, just like we already discussed. Let's go back to the sharing settings. I mentioned there are 3 types of sharing permissions. If you share a project with the read permission, the receiving user or group of users will be able to view the project page, including all material quantities, charts, and reports. This permission level does not allow the user to edit, delete, or share the projects with others. This permission level can be useful for sharing progress or results with clients, ensuring that the clients can see the project but cannot accidentally modify anything. The second level, write permission, is most useful for occasional collaborators on the project, such as consultants or subcontractors. This permission level allows the receiving users to edit most project fields, including floor areas, material quantities, and material definitions. Users with the access are not able to move, delete, or reshare the project with others. The most comprehensive access level is the Manage Access. This is the most useful for sharing with close team members or company managers, since this permission will give the user pretty much the same editing rights as the owner, including modifying all fields, deleting the project, and resharing the project with other users. If you would ever like to share a project with the public, either as a public case study or to report your project for benchmarking purposes, there are 2 ways to do this. The first option is to go into project settings, type in public into the people or groups field, and add the public to the list of people with access. Note that this will make the project publicly visible with all the project's identifying information. The second way to publish a project is using the Anonymize and Publish button from within the project itself. Here you can publish the project similarly as with the previous method, including all the project's identifying information, or you can anonymize the project first and then publish the anonymized copy. The anonymize function will do exactly what the pop-up says. The project will be copied with a randomly generated name, generalized location, and slightly modified material and floor area quantities. And that's it for our overview of how to use the building planner to organize, compare, and share projects in EC3. Please check out the Building Transparency website or YouTube channel for more videos and resources. Thank you for watching.